Hi, this is John Patrick Hickey. Last time we talked, we started talking about putting together this plan. I gave you a little assignment and I hope that you've done it. And that is to sit down with a paper and pen and write out what it is that you need to do in order to achieve the goals that you've set for yourself. Now, looking at that paper, looking at what you have written down there, what I want you to do is to start thinking of what it is that you need to do first. What is the first thing that's required on that list? Now, it doesn't mean that the first thing always has to be the biggest thing, but it also doesn't mean that it has to be the smallest thing or the easiest thing. We just have to figure out what's next. What is it that we have to do in order to continue to move forward? There's an order of things that we will find, and it'll all appear to itself when you look at that list of what it is. And I want you to number those. I want you to go, what's number one, what's number two. When you do that, I want you to set a date. Napoleon Hill said that a goal without a deadline is just a pipe dream. You know, there's nothing that is going to make it happen unless you make it happen. And that's where deadlines come in. That's where timetables come in. And it's a good thing to have a timetable. Now, let me help you understand something about timetables here. That doesn't mean that you are writing in concrete that on a certain day you're going to achieve something. Like I said in the beginning, always remember that things happen, that change course, that mean that you have to do things a little differently. You know, when a plane flies from New York to San Francisco, it has a flight pattern of where it's going to go. It spends more time off course than it does on course. Because it's flying around other planes, it's flying around weather fronts that are out there. There's many different things that are going to cause it to get off course. But it still makes it to its destination, and it makes it on time. Because it knows where it's going, and it adjusts for those things that happen that get it off course to get it back on course again. We have to do the same thing. We make those minor adjustments that we go. You know, what happens when people are strict about, I got to do this at this time and this at this time, is that when something comes in to change that course, we just throw up our hands and give up and say, well, I can't do this, it's not working out. And then we quit. Well, you can't quit. You can never quit. So the thing is that you have to be willing to adjust to things and say, okay, I'll make this adjustment and then I'm back on course. And you're always heading to the destination. You have to be flexible. Your destination never changes. That's solid. But what is flexible is your approach to that destination. So you're always asking yourself, what's next? See, when you make, setting goals, setting major goals is a series of achieving minor goals. That you have a lot of little things that you achieve. What you don't want to do is to achieve something and then stop. You know, people have a tendency sometimes to set a minor goal and they achieve that goal and they want to reward themselves, so they just kind of rest. They put everything aside and say, okay, I'm just going to rest for a while. Don't do that. You know, I've often said the greatest danger to success is success. Because when we succeed, we tend to stop. And you don't want to stop. You're always moving to the next thing. If you achieve one goal, you move on to the next. It's always a case of what's next. You're moving on to the next thing. Onto the next thing, onto the next thing. And even when you achieve those major goals in life, once you achieve that goal, you're going to set another. And by then you'll know what that other is, because you're always growing and developing and moving things forward. So let me encourage you. Sit down, figure out what it is that you have to do first, what comes next, and then we're going to talk about what to do once you understand what these different steps are next time we get together. This is John Patrick Hickey on behalf of the Growth Center, and let me encourage you to always pursue your purpose and change your world.